Nebraska is always, I think, among the top 5 agricultural states in the United States. So we produce, I think I have some data there for you that, and I don't remember exactly what the numbers are, but we're like 5th in soybeans and soy products, and 3rd in feed grains, and 1st or 2nd a lot of times in beef. So Nebraska is always among the top agricultural states in the United States. We have a very, very productive agriculture, much more so than most parts of the world. And I mean, this is sort of true of the U.S. As a whole, and of course it depends a little bit on the crop. I mean, Brazil is competitive in terms of yields, the output per acre, and productivity. Europe has begun to catch up in certain areas. They're ahead of us in yields on wheat, but that's largely because they produce a lower quality wheat, and you get higher yields if you have lower quality commodities. So, but by and large, we have a hugely productive agriculture. That's why we only have 2% of the population working in production agriculture. Back in the 1930s, there were something like 6.5 million farms in the United States, and something around 30–35% of the population made its living out of agriculture. Today it's 2%, and we have about 2 million farms. So there's a lot fewer farms, they're a lot bigger, and we don't need nearly as many people working in agriculture because each person working in agriculture is so hugely productive. Japan has been the major market for U.S. beef for a long time. What happened about, I can't remember the year exactly, it was around 2002, 2003, somewhere around in there, there was a case of mad cow disease discovered in the United States. Now, this was probably an animal that had been brought in from Canada. It never got into the food supply, and there's really virtually no threat of transmitting the human variant of this disease. There have only been 3 cases over the past 20 or 30 years in the United States, and all of those were contracted outside the U.S. So there was never any danger from U.S. beef, but both Japan and Korea, which are major markets for U.S. beef, immediately, as soon as that was announced, no more imports from the U.S. So they cut off trade. Our exports to Japan and Korea went to 0 from being a fairly substantial market. And it stayed that way for a time. I don't know the exact details, but a few years back, Japan reopened its markets for U.S. beef. But that set back our beef exports very, very substantially. And I haven't looked at the data, but I don't think they have recovered to this day. And beef cattle is a major, I mean, aside from the grains and oil seeds, the main agricultural activity in Nebraska is beef cattle. And we're always among the top states in production of beef cattle. So, that hurt the cattle producers here in the U.S., I think, quite a lot when those prices, I mean, when those exports were cut off and prices fell.